Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Silent Hill.
Where am I?
Harry.
Lisa? Then I'm in the hospital?
You were having a bad dream.
Was I? Hey, you don't look too good. Are you okay?
I'm fine. Nothing you need to worry about.
Well, if you're sure. Lisa, do you know a woman named Dahlia Gillespie?
Oh yeah, that crazy Gillespie lady. She's kind of famous around here. She never sees anybody, so I don't know that much about her. But I heard her kid died in a fire, and supposedly she's been crazy ever since.
Well, she says the town is being devoured by the darkness. Do you have any idea what she's talking about?
The town devoured by the darkness. Yes, I think I do. Before this place was turned into a resort, the townspeople here were on the quiet side. Everybody followed some kind of queer religion. Weird occult stuff, black magic, that kind of thing. As young people moved away, the people figured they'd been summoned by the gods. Evidently, things like that used to happen around here all the time. Before the resort, there really wasn't anything else out here. Everyone was so flipped out, you gotta blame it on something. Then a lot of new people came in and everybody clammed up about it.
A cult?
Last time I heard anything about it was, gosh, years ago. When several people connected with developing the town died in accidents. People said it was a curse. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm rambling. I'll shut up.
Was that another dream? Did I pass out again?
I don't want to think so, but maybe this is all just going on in my head. I could have had a car accident and now I'm lying unconscious in a hospital bed. I don't know what's real anymore. Sybil said Cheryl was heading towards the lake, but the road to the lake is blocked. Aren't there any other roads? Lisa would probably know. Problem with that, we're now nowhere near Lisa. We're back. We're in the Otherworld version of the antique store from last part, if I recall correctly. We need to get back to the hospital. Thing is, you can't exactly get there the way we came from. As in the Otherworld, the path there is directly blocked. Additionally, we're going to have to deal with some different enemies along the way. While rompers are still here from this portion of the town normally, groaners and air screamers are now upgraded. There's now night flutters, which are just stronger versions of the air screamers, and oh shit, what do groaners get upgraded into? I think it's wormheads from memory. They work the exact same. They just look a little different, have a bit more health, and do, I think, a little bit more damage. Ultimately, not too much to worry about, though. But now we've entered the mall because this is the way we need to go, as the pathway forward is directly destroyed. In fact, there's some pathways destroyed in here. In fact, I believe in development this game was going to have bottomless pits as hazards. We don't have to worry about them, though.
Where are you?
Cheryl!
Well. Disturbing. I don't know what all these different symbols that flash on this mean. At the end of the day, though, it's just more of a jump scare than anything. Though there's that mark again that we've been seeing since the school, which I believe is the Marca Semiel that Dahlia is talking about. There's a couple of those located throughout the game. In fact, that's part of the plot. There are two ways you can go in the mall, but one way is just a dead end that has nothing really to it. Also, I think the radio's going off. I don't think it's for any enemy up here. Before we go forward, you want to come in here, as there's a couple of items you can grab in here, namely some ammo. In particular, you even get a little bit of a very minor spoiler for yourself, because we get the third type of ammo here, rifle shells. We're coming up on the final gun for the main playthrough. But there's also a save point here you can use if you need to, as well as another first aid kit. I do recommend saving, though, as the upcoming boss fight is potentially the hardest in the game relative to your supplies at this point in the game, as even Split Head's instant kill, while more annoying, isn't as potentially annoying as this fight. Alright, boss fight against the Twinfeeler, but over here we got the ultimate gun in the game, at least for the main campaign, counting extra weapons from the endings, not so much. The rifle. I think it has the best range and the highest damage, but it has the lowest ammo count, so recommend using the shotgun against the Twinfeeler here. The Twinfeeler will dig itself underground and then come up in an attempt to try and attack you from a distance. While it's doing that, though, it can hit you with its mucus, more or less, that just does damage. No poison status element in this game, thankfully. And then it'll try to ram into you. I believe it can also just kind of swing its head and tail around when it's moving around. It's not a hard boss in concept, but dodging it is surprisingly annoying because of how fast its projectile attack moves relative to your movement speed, especially if you're just walking backwards while aiming. Not the worst boss in the game, but it can be hard to dodge. And you needed to fight that fight as it opens up this door, which allows us to leave the mall proper. The mall is an area that I believe is much more explored even in Silent Hill 3. It's kind of just an afterthought in this game because it's just a boss arena, more or less. And now you're going to want to run. We are trying to get to the hospital from here, but they place more enemies here than anywhere else in the game, I feel like, almost. A bunch of the wormheads, a bunch of the night flutterers. We got a long road ahead of us, and it's a very specific path you need to take, because you can only get to the hospital from directly in front of it and to the left, I believe. Yeah, I'm trying to imagine Silent Hill with bottomless pits is just weird. I'm glad they ultimately scrapped using that idea. I don't think they brought that back, sort of, until Silent Hill 3, where there's like one pit you can fall into to die, and even that's more so a, you didn't do this puzzle, so this enemy will instant kill you. I want to say you might also be able to visit the police station at this time of night, and maybe that's what I missed when it comes to getting that one document later on in the game. Maybe there's a new detail added on in there or something, but I think I might also be imagining that. Oh, actually, no, we're on our way there right now. Because I just remember there's some ammo we can grab there that's different. I think there's some shotgun and rifle ammo there in particular. I'm thinking of, I think, after you do this upcoming segment, you can maybe come back to the police station for something else. And even then, again, could be imagining that. Yeah, some shotgun shell. No, that's rifle shell, so yeah, definitely worth doing. In fact, the rifle you're going to really want to use in the next fight coming up. So any ammo you can get for that is ammo you should take. Plus, it's technically a closer save point, so I guess you can come from the north. I just forgot about this. some of the Otherworld segments when you're just exploring the town. In fact, no, some of the town exploration segments, period, do kind of blend together a bit, because a lot of it is just very directly go look for some items and find the key items you might need. In fact, like, back during the first exploration section where you're supposed to find those 3 Wizard of Oz keys, you could just completely skip going to the apartment first to get the hints where those keys are. You can just go grab them. In fact, I think in order to get, like, a gold-rated time when it comes to the end-game ranking, you need to do that? Maybe? And now we're back at the hospital. Great. Those wormheads and groaners out in the front are always funny to me because they stand so little chance of hitting you as long as you make a direct beeline for the door to the hospital. Well, it's a bit weird being on this end of the hospital, but let's go see if we can talk to Lisa again.
Harry!
Glad you're okay.
Thank God you came back. I was scared to be here all alone.
I'm here now. I was worried too. I'm real happy to see you. Lisa, can you tell me how to get to the lake?
The lake? You take Bachman Road.
The road's blocked.
Well, that's the only way out there.
Are you sure? There's gotta be another way.
Wait! I just remembered something!
What?
There's a waterworks over by my old elementary school. It's been abandoned for years. There's an underground tunnel out there used for inspections or something. I remember hearing it runs all the way to the lake.
Really? You think I can get to the lake from there?
I've never been down in there myself, so I'm not positive. Besides, it's all fenced off to keep people out.
If there's a chance, I've got to try.
Harry, don't go! I don't want to be alone. It's so scary, I can't stand it.
How about coming with me? This may not be the safest place in the world either. I can't promise you anything, but I'll do my best to protect you.
No. Somehow I feel I'm not supposed to leave this place. Oh, Harry, I'm so scared and cold.
Look, just wait here a little longer. I'll be back as soon as I find my daughter.
Harry?
Alright, so we gotta get back to the residential district in order to access the lake then. Which is where the actual resort of the resort town of Silent Hill is. Lake Toluca is only kind of briefly touched upon in this game. We do more with it in Silent Hill 2 and 3, namely Silent Hill 2 especially. In fact, the resort aspect is much more focused on in SH2. Huh, the wormheads are gone. It might seem a little weird at first until we get out here where the level design here has completely changed. We are now railroaded across the way towards the post office. Where we can't, I don't think you could ever enter the post office in this one, but we can take the stairs up the side of it. Just as a forewarning, I recommend having the shotgun or the rifle equipped and topping up your health if you're in, like, the orange, just so you're as optimized as you can be for the startup that's about to happen. Alright, let's head upstairs. Suddenly Moth. This is the grown-up version of the previous boss fight. This is the Floatstinger. It's only got 2 attacks, though. It can spew acid at you from a distance that, again, is surprisingly fast, and it can whack you with its stinger. It's damaging, but you can just pump ammo to it barely moving. As long as you have a lot of health drinks stocked up from the game thus far, you don't really need to worry about it. In fact, the boss fights in Silent Hill are kind of pathetic. Silent Hill 2 would step them up a little bit. By and large, you can just stand in one place and refill your health for like 3 out of the 4 or 5 of them if you count this and the last boss fight as one. And you are completely fine. Just don't use your ampules on this fight. I recommend saving that specifically for the final boss. Can take some punishment, but this fight's not much to write home about. I did recall something funny though. I think the music for this fight's titled "I'll Kill You," and there's something that's so direct about that it just makes me laugh. I believe if you're running out of ammo, you can use particularly the axe to attack it, but it's very tricky to do that without taking a bunch of damage. I distinctly remember one of my least favorite parts about the Silent Hill movie, which I've barely touched on thus far if memory serves, was they actually show where that siren's coming from, whereas in the games it's very vague, intimidating. It's just on the church in the movie, which was really disappointing. And it's weird too, because the Silent Hill movie, at least the first one, is a very 50-50 experience, because they jump the shark on explaining a bunch about Silent Hill itself. But when it comes to exploring the concepts and the aesthetic, it's arguably one of the most accurate game-to-movie adaptations we've seen. To the point where, barring the end of it, the alleyway segment at the very start of the game is almost perfectly adapted, and it looks fantastic. In fact, in general, the monster designs are really accurately done in the movie. Whether or not they use the monsters accurately to their initial symbolization, or how they act in the games is something else entirely. I'm looking at a certain mascot character that was introduced in Silent Hill 2. But that's more so nitpicking than anything. The scenes that character gets are still really cool. They're just kind of weird they put them in there. With that, though, we're done in the shopping district, so let's head over back to the residential district. And they're actually a little bit merciful on you. They don't make you walk all the way towards where we need to go. The moment we cross this threshold into the residential district, they just jump cut you to where you need to go. Which is a little weird, because it never really does that again in the game, let alone I think even the series. But hey, I'll take it, I guess. And we're there. They don't even really mark the waterworks on the map, which is kind of odd. This must be that waterworks Lisa was talking about. Alright, let's check it out. If you want to, you can go explore to find items you may have missed earlier in the game, but I'm not going to do that because I don't see a point in it myself. It's locked. The lock's worn out. I may be able to break it if I hit it hard. This is one of the funniest in the list because you actually do need to beat the shit out of this lock. The better weapons you have for this, the shorter it is to break off. Like the shotgun gets it off pretty quickly, as do the super weapons from after beating the game. You just, need those weapons or the ammo. But with that, I'm going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 8, we're going sewer surfing. See you guys then.